What up, y'all? We back with your girl Rajah Dat, the Oracle, aka Picasso Mommy. Today we're gonna be talking about the gatekeeping and levels of hateration / jealousy that comes with like just leveling up and things like that. It was actually a video that I had planned out a while ago. I'm gonna be going through some of the topics that I had already previously written down and never got to. So I'm gonna go through those periodically. I think the next one might be the children's channel recommendations, just to get that out the way, the second part. Like I said, this video is going to be about, gatekeeping and whatnot, and I've had my fair share of dealing with gatekeepers while I've been working in my various fields of industries and working with my skill sets and whatnot. So the first tier we're going to talk about is the no level gatekeeping, hateration, jealousy shit. These are people that literally have no skills, they have no goals, they have no dreams, they have no desires. Their sole purpose is just to keep you from getting to where you're trying to go. Quite literally just find pleasure in being a hater, like just being somebody that's negative, down talking you, just doing active things to keep you from trying to elevate yourself because they have no purpose, or they haven't found their purpose, I'd rather say, because everybody has a purpose, but they just haven't applied themselves or even tried to find their purpose. So they gotta downplay whatever it is that you got going on because you have a clear vision, you have a clear focus, you have a clear goal, dream, so on and so forth that you're trying to go for. And it triggers something inside of them, like quite literally. They get upset because it highlights all the things that they're not doing or that they haven't done or that they aren't striving for. And so it's a threat to them personally because now it's making them look like they ain't shit. And it's not that you're trying to make them look like they ain't shit, it's just like, I know what I want to do. Pure point blank, like just figure out what you're trying to do, or you haven't figured out what you're trying to do, help somebody do what they're doing until you figure out what you're trying to do, and then maybe it'll spark some inspiration within you to then go after what it is that you want to do. You don't have to like stick with somebody for the long haul, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, be somebody's minion or nothing like that. But I mean, if you don't have a purpose, why not help somebody towards theirs? And then maybe along the way, you'll find some skills, you'll find something that'll help you towards your journey. But again, they're haters. People are haters. There's jealousy and all types of underlying things. So that's how they operate. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to try and deter you rather than help you get to where you got to go, which is sad. It's just sad. It's just sad in general because you could definitely help build something rather than destroy something, but that's a whole nother story. All right, we're gonna go on to the mid-tier. Mid-tier hateration / gatekeeping is definitely influencers and people with minimal talent / skills, just because like it's a game where it's more about popularity. It's more about popularity and less about skill. It's more about like hacking the system than it is about actual talent. And that's why I say that they're mid-tier, or we're gonna say low tier. They're low tier because we just went from 0 tier to low tier. So low tier is definitely influencers and those type of people that capitalize off of their social credibility. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with influencers or anything like that, but I feel like if your sole output, your sole contribution to society is just you kind of just being and living and like showcasing a life that not many people have, you're not making an impact with that presence, that social presence, that public figure title, I just think it's kind of useless. Like it's nice and pretty to look at, like the follower count is cool or whatever, but I've met plenty of people that have high ass follower accounts and are influential, and even celebrities like that really ain't shit for real, and their lives are in shambles. And it's just the image that they project isn't reality. And I feel like there's a big disconnect from reality and social presence these days. Like a lot of people think that all the stuff that people put out on the internet, even though it's been said plenty of times, like, oh, you can't believe everything that's on the internet, you can't believe everything you see, people are only broadcasting their highlights. People still aren't kind of getting that through their head. They're still like thinking like, oh, people's lives are perfect, oh, people got this going on and they have money and they have this. Like, a lot of that shit is fake, fugazi, it's not real. And it's a lot of movie magic. Like, California, people sensationalize, and I even think, I haven't been to the East Coast yet, like the far East Coast yet, but I definitely am already privy to the fact that people sensationalize things a lot. There's movie magic in real life, so like if you can pull off a certain facade, then that is what it is. Honestly, it's been said multiple times over, like, you really don't have to have any credentials or skills at all in order to create a social presence or to gain people's trust. You just kind of have to keep showing up, and you have to keep putting yourself in front of enough people in order to gain that credibility, and then eventually people will just think that you're legit regardless of the merit or the fruit that you've bared and things like that. Personally, I don't ever want nobody to be able to pull my card, so everything that I talk about, I be about, period, because I know people like to deep dive, and I never want to be in a situation where I have to explain myself or like prove something that I just cannot. So everything that I talk about, I have physical evidence, proof behind that shit. Like, so I'm never worried about shit. Yeah, I just couldn't never be a false flagger like that. That's one of my like haters, false flaggers, liars. Like, that's just something that I just think is just so far removed from me. Like, I can't do it. It's just because, like, why? What's the point? What is the actual point behind any of that shit? Like, this is why we're talking about gatekeepers and jealousy and those type of people, because it's just unneeded. Like, you're putting stress on the collective when there doesn't need to be. We already have enough things to be stressed about, so like, why are you making people's lives harder by being any shit? But I digress. So the next tier that we're gonna talk about is mid-tier. So we talked about no tier, which is just regular ass haters that have no other job other than to hate. You got low tier, which is the influencers and minimal skilled people. And now we're going to mid tier, which is small business owners and people that have a vision but just want to get there first. So these are people that quite literally are low-level gatekeepers. Like, these are the people that step on other people. These are the people that withhold opportunities. These are the people that will not talk about you in a room full of people that can get you to the next opportunity. People like that. Like, these are people, these ones I feel like are probably the most egregious, like, to be honest, even more than anybody else, because first of all, you are the catalyst to somebody else's, success 9 times out of 10, because the only way you can be successful or gain business is through other people. You have, your network is your net worth. People say that all the time, So like, for you to withhold opportunities, information, for you to just be one of those people that quite literally will step on somebody or take somebody's idea or just do like little things to subtly get ahead of people and not have to give credit or do any of the actual groundwork, foundational work, that's just sick to me, sickening. And I've been in situations with these kind of people a lot because of the field of business that I'm in. As y'all might know, I'm a creative specialist, a serial business owner, budding socialite. I have an insurance business. So with that being said, like, I've been in situations where people, and I'm one of those people that I love to share ideas, I love to network, and I love to, collaborate with people. And I don't feel like there's ever a shortage of ideas or like a shortage of just things that we can collaborate on, because I'm always going to have an idea. With that being said, I'm very free with my thoughts and ideas and things like that. And I've had people take my ideas. I've had people like just do the most, like when it really isn't needed, because I'm willing to share that stuff anyway. Like I'm very, community minded. So for you to go out of your way to like snub me and take my shit and not give me credit, like at the very least, is insane. It's psychotic. It's disgusting. It's weird. So I've had to actively learn to kind of keep things to myself, just because like not everybody has the same intentions. And moving forward, I want to be able to bring those ideas to fruition in the healthiest way possible. And a lot of those times that when my ideas were stolen, or like I was collaborating with people that weren't genuine, those ideas that got tainted, or they just fell by the wayside because people and their behaviors, or just like wrong timing, wrong place, wrong timing. So everything that I've had an idea about, I plan to bring to fruition and come full circle with in an even better manner. It's just the, temporary setback and just the overall bad taste that was left in my mouth from collaborating with certain people, or just like dealing with certain energies in general, was real wild. So I had to kind of go into hermit mode and, heal and fix some shit that was going on in my own mentality in order to elevate and come back even better and have that type of security in myself and my ideas, and set better boundaries pretty much overall, just so that I don't continue this cycle of putting myself out there and getting upset when certain things don't go certain ways and all this other type of stuff. It's just a headache, and that I would rather circumvent by doing the work up front. But yeah, no tier, low level tier influencers, non-skilled people or minimal skilled people. You have mid-tier small business owners, people that are just low level gatekeepers and will step on anybody to get a leg up. And then you have the top tier, which is corporations. Those are the gatekeepers, corporations, large business owners that really have everything at their disposal, have, the resources, have willpower and the clientele in order to be able to give these opportunities to people, and just don't. So on Cherry Top, my business, I talk about this a lot. Like one of the things that I consistently do on Instagram or any social media when I'm looking at corporations or businesses, like for modeling and things like that, I actively see how many dark-skinned Black women, American Black women, that they have on their page, and how we're being represented on their platform. Because a lot of these corporations, you will not see American Black women. 9 times out of 10, there's foreign Black women, and maybe one, if that, or they're biracial, which nothing against biracial women or foreign women, but opportunities are very rarely going to American Black women, like regular everyday American Black women. They have to have like some type of foreign aspect or exotic aspect for these corporations to work with them, or you have to be slightly whitewashed, or you have to be well spoken. And I feel like that's a disservice to diversity in general, because a lot of these women do not represent everyday Black women in America. And I think that that's crazy, because we're 9 times out of 10 the market that they're looking to profit off of, and we're the inspiration for a lot of these trends that they've stolen and put out there. So we should at least be getting some of the benefits from the opportunities that are in our areas. And then just small towns. A lot of you know that I come from Iowa City to be specific. And Iowa has some of the most beautiful girls that I've seen in general from traveling and all of that. Like Iowa has some of the most beautiful girls. And there's a buzzing modeling scene and creative scene that's being, booted up, and has been, kind of in the process for a while. And they just don't get a lot of recognition. And I know Iowa is very big with politics and things like that. And you hear Iowa all the time in movies. And there's a lot of like celebrities that come out of Iowa, go to Iowa to visit. But it doesn't get a lot of recognition. Like it's a very, very low-key undertone, like underground type of buzz that Iowa gets, and I don't think that they get enough credit. Shout out to the hometown. So yeah, I think that more people should kind of look into that whole thing, because I feel like Iowa would definitely be a great buzz city just in general. Like, because in the Midwest, I mean, I know there's Chicago, but you know, people are always gonna, you know, gravitate towards Chicago, LA, New York. I mean, and now that I'm in the South, Houston, I feel like Iowa should definitely be in those top rankings, where to go, like Des Moines, just because, like I said, politics have put Iowa on the map for the longest. So like, what is the difference between artistic creativity and politics? If you can get eyes in Iowa for politics, you can get eyes in Iowa for the vast creativity that has come out of there. And there's just a lot of people that are in their bag right now in general. Enough with that. We're gonna wrap this thing up. I just wanted to highlight some of the behaviors that I've seen on every tier, from gatekeeping to jealousy to just weird behavior. So I feel like we should have more conversations about how to curb these behaviors and how to actively collaborate with one another, and just start making these behaviors and these activities just disgusting. Just outcast those people. Like, if you start behaving in that type of way, I think that we should actively shame that behavior. I'm not saying bully anybody, but I don't think that it should be accepted. I don't think that behavior should be accepted, because now you're no longer part of the collective. You're exhibiting selfish behaviors. So that's all I have for today. Like I said, I'm gonna be dropping videos every week, and I'm going to try and get into some of the longer videos ahead of time. These ones are kind of just last minute, just because I'm trying to get my flow in, and dropping every week has been tedious, to say the least. Yeah, and then by the end of the year, I'm planning on dropping 2 a week by the end of this year, at least. So yeah, I'm excited to be on this journey with y'all. Thank you for tuning in, and if you were here with me, I appreciate your support. That's all for today. Deuces.
Now Rajah Dat.